I'm Zoe. So what's up, guys? So never would I have imagined myself in a position to be speaking to you all today. So just 5 months ago, I was really lost. I was living a life that I thought was right. I grew up in a home where we were in and out of church. Violence kind of seemed to be the answer for the most part, and substance abuse, it was a normal thing for us. So at any given week, or any moment, we could, my family, we could walk through the house and we could go a week without speaking to each other. It didn't matter if we passed each other in the house how many times, we wouldn't speak. And so in January of 2018, my life kind of took a scary turn. My mother was under the influence one night, and this kind of put her in a rage. And so eventually this led to her kicking me out of the house. She became physical, and she tried to tell me that I had problems that even God himself couldn't fix. And so I began finding ways to cope through that. And those things became alcohol and sex, and I realized later on that these things, they only caused me more difficulty than what I was already facing. And so it wasn't until my mom had kicked me out of the only home I've ever known that I realized I needed a change for myself. And so some days I would pray, and then some days I would completely go against everything that God had been saying to me. Fast forward to my first few weeks at Longwood, I had a friend who had asked me to come with her to meet with 2 people from InterVarsity. And I was really hesitant, I was like, I don't really care what this is. I just want to focus on college. I want to worry about the problems that are still coming up back home. But I was trying to be a good friend, so I agreed to go with her. And we went and we met. And then when we left the meeting, she asked me if I would go to a small group with her. And again, I was like, I don't have time for this. I really don't want to go. And so I agreed. I was like, just be a good friend, Zoe. It'll only last for a minute. And so I went and I was like, okay, whoop-de-doo. And for some reason, I decided to keep going. And so even after my friend stopped coming, I was like, no, there's something here. This is where I want to be. So a few weeks after that, our chapter at InterVarsity in Longwood, we took a trip to Smith Mountain Lake. And it was the first time that I'd ever really talked to many people. I still didn't really know everybody. I just known the one girl who asked me to go with her. And I was not down for going. I did not want to go on this trip. I did not know anybody. And our minister, Blake, the goofy guy who does all the meals and stuff for you guys, he was like, call me off guard and sign me up for the trip. I had no idea. Kind of like what happened here. I didn't know I was doing this. And so I went, and hands down, wholeheartedly, that was the turning point in my relationship with God. So we talked a lot about being vulnerable and opening up to the people around us and opening up to God himself. And I realized that if we really allow ourselves to open up, and if we really allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we also allow God to come through and work in us. And so we allow him to help carry those loads that we think we have to handle on our own. And so that night, we split into our small groups after Blake had spoke to us. And it was a completely different night than I'd ever experienced. So these girls that I'd only known for a few weeks, some of them I still didn't know their names. We sat down and we were crying, just tears keep coming, they wouldn't stop. And so it was like, instead of just knowing them for a few weeks, it was like I knew these guys my whole life. That's what it felt like. And so after that small group, my small group leader at the time, Melissa, she asked to pray for me that night, and it was the most powerful prayer that I've ever experienced. And so I can't really describe what it was or what happened, but I definitely know that God had touched me that night. And so I used to once be a slave to fear. I never wanted to do anything outside of my comfort zone. I was just completely against that. But through the time, just through the 5 months, I got to see how I've changed from the person that I once was to the person that I am today. And so it helps me to realize that no matter what my circumstances are and no matter what I came from, I'm saved. And I am worthy of the love from Jesus. And I once believed, when I actually became a small group leader this semester, and I was hesitant because I was like, like I've committed a lot of sins. I've made a lot of mistakes. I was like, that's hypocritical of me to do these things. Like, I can't lead a small group of women. That's just wrong. And then he was up here and he talked about how God befriends those sinners. And I was like, no, like, I was that sinner. Jesus befriended me. And so through that, I was like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. So, like I said, just 5 months ago, I was so lost. I was broken. And then things that I thought could never happen, they just started happening in the blink of an eye. Like, boom, there it is. It just kept going. And so I used to surround myself with friends who, they didn't challenge me in my faith. They didn't push me to do anything. They were just they let me make those mistakes, and actually they encouraged them. And then I came to Longwood, and I met these group of fine people from InterVarsity. And not only do they challenge me in my faith, but they also accept me where I fall short in that too. And so they help me to grow through that. I have a co-leader, Casey. She stands beside me a lot. We do things hand in hand, and she helps carry my loads whenever I can't carry it. And so, I look at my InterVarsity people, and I look at the people that I've got myself surrounded with now, and there's no other way to describe it than, that's the power of God. To bring you from where you once were, to surround you with these people who just always encourage you, and you're like Jesus is real. And then he not only gave me the opportunity to witness to you guys and things like that, but he's also fixing and continuing to fix those problems that I was once told were too big to handle. And so I got to experience what it was like to live a life without accepting Jesus. But now that I know that he pulls us from even the darkest places, I realize how important it is to share that with you guys. So I'm going to pray. If you guys would bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for this winter conference that you've given us. I thank you for all the faces that you've brought in our direction, Lord. And I thank you for these schools that you've allowed to gather together and just to worship you. Lord, I thank you for the worship team. And, sometimes, Lord, we may not understand the words that are being said. And through song, we can truly feel that. We can see it work through us. Lord, I ask that you keep us safe as we're traveling, as we all return back to our campuses and things like that tomorrow, Lord. Help us to finish out this last little bit strong. We thank you so much, Lord. There's no way to ever truly thank you enough. But I thank you so much for bringing me from where I once was to bringing me here now, Lord. I thank you, and I love you, and I praise you. In Jesus' name.